Hi, welcome to today's episode. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to support our future efforts. Warning: spoilers ahead. After witnessing gangster Eddie Kim brutally beat US prosecutor Daniel Hayes to death in Hawaii, Sean Jones is escorted by FBI agents Flynn and John on a Boeing 747 to testify at the trial in LA. Despite increased security for the flight, Kim arranges for a time-release crate full of venomous and constrictor snake to be placed in the cargo hold, in attempts to bring down the plane before it reaches LA. To ensure the snakes attack the passengers, he has one of his henchmen, disguised as an airport ground employee, spray the passengers with a special pheromone, which will cause the snakes to aggressively attack without being provoked. The crate pops open midway through the flight and the snakes start making their way into various areas of the plane. A cat in the cargo bay, a young couple having sex in the lavatory, and men using the bathroom are the first killed. One of the snakes causes a short in the plane's electronics, so the plane's captain, Sam, investigates by climbing down into the hold underneath the cockpit and resets the breakers. Before he can climb back up the ladder, he is struck and killed by a viper. Co-pilot Rick is alerted that the captain is down by flight attendant Claire. Rick believes the captain has suffered a heart attack. The stewardess goes to get Flynn and Sanders, who help move the captain's body. Later, some coral snakes enter the cockpit and Rick uses his clipboard to hit them, accidentally releasing the oxygen mask throughout the plane. The snakes are then able to enter the cabin through the holes where the oxygen mask had been, and they began wreaking havoc among the passengers. Numerous passengers, including Agent Sanders, are killed. Agent Flynn enters the cabin and uses a stun gun to ward off the snakes as he makes his way back. He realizes he has to turn around, as there are too many snakes and too much confusion among the passengers, so he yells to passengers to make their way to the front of the plane. Those who are able to get to the front of the plane follow the instructions of Flynn and begin putting up a blockade of luggage. One stewardess rescues a woman's baby, but in the process is fatally struck by one of the snakes. Two little boys, sons of Navy captains stationed in Hawaii, are traveling to the LA alone. The youngest boy is bitten on the wrist and his wrist and hand swell dramatically. A young woman incised the swollen area and sucks some of the poison out. Agent Flynn contacts FBI Special Agent Hank Harris on the ground, who orders his men to find him and the nearest snake expert. That would be ophiologist Dr. Stephen Price. Dr. Price gets on a phone and speaks directly with Flynn. Price tells Flynn that something must provoke the snakes for them to be acting so aggressively. After thinking about it, Price suspects a pheromone may be responsible. Flynn tells Price that he will gather as many of the dead snakes as possible, so description can be provided to Dr. Price and anti-venoms ready. First, he has to quell a potential insurrection by the passengers who blame him and Jones for putting them in such a predicament. As some of the passengers start gathering dead snakes, a large snake in the cockpit attacks and temporarily disables the co-pilot. The plane starts to dip downwards, causing a food trolley to crash through the luggage blockade. The passengers flee to the upstairs first-class cabin, exceeding the capacity of the stair railing and causing it to collapse. A huge boa constrictor simultaneously crashes through the overhead and falls into the aisle. A male passenger grabs a woman's small dog and throws it to the snake. The dog's owner is furious and starts hitting the man, but she falls back when the constrictor takes the man into its coils and begins crushing him to death. With pictures of reptiles emailed to him, Price at first believes there will not be enough time to collect all the anti-venom that will be required. Price ultimately determines that it must have been a snake dealer living in the desert outside LA who is responsible for providing all those different snakes. He would also have anti-venoms. After flight attendant Claire kills the snake in the cockpit with a fire axe, she and Flynn are able to mostly regain control of the jet. Rick then recovers consciousness and retakes the controls. The plane's interior starts getting too hot. Once inside the cargo hold, Flynn has to use a homemade flamethrower that Claire had made up for him to kill 2 more snakes. Finally, he's able to force the power of the air condition back on. The police find the snake dealer at his property in the desert. There is a shootout, and as dealer is trying to get away, he's bitten by one of his snakes. Special Agent Harris threatens to withhold the anti-venom that the dealer needs unless he provides information about the snakes in the plane. The dealer reveals that Kim hired him to obtain the snakes. He also tells them that the pheromones were sprayed on the flower lace so they would circulate throughout the plane and stimulate the snakes to behave aggressively. Harris gives orders to have Eddie Kim arrested. He then contacts Flynn, telling him that anti-venom will be ready for the passengers when they land. Flynn has to force the door to the cockpit open. Rick falls out dead, and Flynn sees that there are multiple snakes inside the cockpit. When Claire goes to the passengers and asks if anyone knows how to fly a plane, 3G's volunteers Troy. Troy looks at him like he's crazy, but after thinking about it, he acknowledged that he has over 2,000 hours experience and that he could do it. All passengers are told to tie themselves into their seats. When they are all ready, Flynn draws his gun and shoots out the 2 cabin windows, causing the plane to depressurize. He then flings open the cockpit door. All loose gear, including the snakes, are sucked from the plane. Flynn helps Troy to get into the cockpit, where he takes the controls. Troy is surprised at how familiar the controls appear to be. He brings the plane level at an altitude where the pressure is no longer working at extracting everything from inside the plane. When contact is made with an aircraft control, Troy is asked if he has flight experience. Troy confirms that he's flown military aircraft of several types. It's soon evident that Troy is speaking about his experience with video game flight simulators. He's the best option available, so the plane is his to land or crash. Troy bounced the plane hard a couple of times, but managed to bring it down. The passengers deplane as the emergency vehicle, Dr. Price and Anti-Venom arrive. Just as Flynn and Sean are about to disembark, a remaining snake jumps out and bites Sean in the chest. Flynn draws his gun and shoots the snake and Sean. Police rush to Sean to lift him off the shoe and check him out. He is alive and unharmed, due to the fact that he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Flynn offers to take Claire to dinner in return for her saving his life. The young flight attendant who was working first class and took an immediate liking to Sean writes her phone number of Sean's palm, so Sean and Flynn have their romantic bases covered in the near them. Sean takes Flynn to the valley and teaches him how to surf. They had discussed it on the plane prior to the snakes attacking, and Flynn admitted that he'd tried surfing but could not stay on his board. Thank you for watching. See you on the next episode. Have a nice day.